Chapter 10. Let's go! Come on, you guys, let's go! I didn't like the river. I wanted the ocean, and I could feel it close by. I could feel it in the way the current rushed me forward. I could feel it in some deep, hidden part of my dolphin being. The ocean. I wanted it. It was my place. It was where I should be. We swam in a school, the four of us, with Tobias flying overhead. We raced the river's currents, and soon I could taste the salt. I could feel the salt water on my skin. It was as if I had opened the door of a toy store with every toy on earth, and I had all the time in the world to play. I saw my friends around me, swift pale shapes in the water, sleek gray torpedoes as they rose to breathe. I lived in both worlds, the sea and the air. I saw the blue-green of the ocean, the pale blue and white of the sky. I slipped back and forth through the bright barrier that separated them. Jake went zipping by, shooting up from beneath me to explode into the air. I heard the slap of his belly as he landed. It was a game. I dove deep, down to where the sandy floor sloped toward the depths, even if I could not explore. Then I powered my tail, steadied my flippers, and drove hard towards the surface. Above me, I could see the shimmering silver border between water and air. Faster! Faster! I was a missile. Yeah! I shattered the barrier of the sea and hurtled up into the sky. I felt warm wind on my skin instead of cold water. I hung, poised in midair, almost floating above the surface of the water. Now the barrier was beneath me. I pointed my nose toward it and dropped from the sky. Ah! The water wrapped around me, welcoming me back. Is this cool or what? Marco laughed in my head. This is cool, I answered. This is beyond cool, Rachel chimed in. Let's all do it at the same time, Jake said. The four of us dove deep. The ocean floor was still far below us, rippling sand dotted with rocks and clumps of seaweed. Near the ocean floor we leveled off, practically scraping our bellies on the bottom, and then, aiming at the silver barrier once again, we shot upwards, racing each other, ecstatic from the joy of our own body's strength. We launched into the air like a well-trained team of acrobats. We flew side by side, exhaling and refilling our lungs with warm air. Life was joy. Life was a game. I wanted to dance. I wanted to dance through the sea. So I did. There was nothing I could not do. There was nothing I could not ask of my body that it would not give me. Racing, spinning, turning, diving, skimming the surface, flying up into the sky. I wasn't just in the sea. I was the sea. Are you guys just going to play all day? It was Tobias. You realize you wasted 45 minutes already? Minutes? I laughed. Who cared about minutes? Look, guys, I know you think the dolphin mind hasn't affected you, but it has. You need to get a grip. You have a reason for being here. Reason? What was that? You're supposed to be looking for something, Tobias said. Something unusual. An Andalite spaceship or something. Yes, he was right. He was definitely right. But would it be fun? Would it be a game? Find the spaceship. Cool, Rachel said. I bet I can find it first. No way, Jake said instantly. I'll find it. Where is it? Let's go look, Marco said. Good grief, Tobias said. You're like a bunch of 5-year-olds. But I was too distracted to care. Hey, can you guys do this? I concentrated, and suddenly, from someplace in my forehead, came a series of loud, very rapid clicks, almost like loud static. Whoa, what was that? Then, to my total surprise, I heard something in those clicks. It was weird. It was kind of like hearing, only not. The clicking noises had hit something far off in the deeper water. I sort of felt the sounds as they came back to me, like scattered echoes. There was a universe of information in that echo. Some of that information made me uneasy. You guys, I said, I know this is crazy, but I feel like there's something out there. Something, I don't know, but I don't like it. The others immediately began firing off clicking noise. That is the dolphin's underwater radar. It's called echolocation. Yeah, Marco said. Now I see it. I mean, I don't see it, but you know what I mean. I searched in my dolphin mind, deep down in the places where instinct had been hidden beneath layers of intelligence. Then a picture just popped into my consciousness. I know, I cried, as if I had just won a contest. It's a shark! Suddenly, we weren't playing anymore. The others had all found the same instinct in themselves. The echolocation indicated there was a large shark nearby, and we knew one thing for sure. We didn't like sharks. Chapter 11. You know, I hate to sound like the only sensible person, so to speak, Tobias said, but you aren't here to fight sharks. He's right, I agreed. Dolphins don't attack sharks unless the sharks attack first. Wait, I'm getting more echoes, Rachel interrupted. There's more than one shark, and there's something bigger too. I reached out with my echolocation sense and felt the sea ahead of me. You're right, I said. Several sharks. And a great one. A what? Tobias asked. I was confused. What did I mean? The words great one had just popped into my head. I mean, there's a whale. A whale being attacked by sharks. A great one being attacked? Marco asked. He sounded upset. It was strange because we were all upset. More than we should have been. You guys do what you want, Rachel said. I'm going in. Oh, there's a big surprise, Tobias said with weary affection. The four of us lanced forward, faster than ever, towards the whale in distress. I see them, Tobias reported from the sky. Straight ahead of you. Looks like 4, maybe 5 sharks and a big, really, really big whale. Did I mention big? Wow, big. We were streaming through the water when I caught sight of my first shark. He was bigger than me, maybe 12 feet long, with faint vertical stripes. He was too excited by the hunt to notice me, until it was too late. With every bit of speed and power I could get from my tail, I rammed the tiger shark with his gill slits. Whomp. It was like hitting a brick wall. My beak was strong, but the shark was made of steel or something. I fell back, dazed, but as I tried to collect myself, I saw that a trail of blood was billowing from the shark's gills. I swam beneath him, and then I saw the huge shape of the whale. He was a humpback, more than 40 feet long. Each of his long, barnacle-encrusted flukes was bigger than me. He was trying to surface to breathe, but the sharks were attacking, tearing at the soft, vulnerable flesh of his mouth. It made me angry, very angry. Suddenly from the murky depths, Jake and Rachel zoomed upward, like missiles aimed at the sharks. Whoomph! Rachel hit her target. Jake's shark twisted just in time. Jake scraped across the shark's sandpaper skin, and before he could get clear, the shark was after him. Jake, he's on your tail. I got him. Look out. Coming from your left, Marco. They were at least as fast as we are, as maneuverable as we are. And the sharks had one terrifying advantage. They did not know fear. He's on me! He's on me! Ugh! Marco! I can't see. Where is he? Cassie, below you. Look out. Look out. It was no longer a game. I had gone rushing into a fight full of confidence and determined to help the whale. But now I was in a war. The sharks were killing machines. They seemed to be nothing but armored skin and razor-sharp fins and wide jaws with row after row of serrated teeth. The water was boiling with twisting, turning, speeding sharks and us dolphins, locked in a high-speed battle to the death. It suddenly occurred to me that we might lose. We might be killed. I might be killed. The water was dark with blood, still billowing from the shark I had hammered. Suddenly 2 of the sharks turned away. They turned and swam away. At first I didn't know why. Then I saw that they were following the shark I had wounded. They were following the trail of blood. They were at the limits of my sight when they struck. They ripped into the injured shark with wild, uncontrolled fury. The last shark turned from the battle and went after them. Robbed of his meal of whale meat, he would feast on his brother instead. Everyone okay? Jake asked. I have some cuts, but I'm okay, I said. Same here, Rachel said. She sounded tired. I guess I did too. I felt exhausted and drained. The fight had probably only lasted 2 minutes from beginning to end. But it had been a really long 2 minutes. Marco? I think I'm hurt, he said. I looked for him. He was drifting in the water almost motionless, 20 yards away. We all swam over, crowding around him. and then I saw the wound. I think I would have screamed if I could have. His tail had almost been bitten off. It was hanging by a few jagged threads. It was useless. We were miles out in the ocean, and Marco could not hope to swim back. Chapter 12. He's gonna die if we don't do something, Rachel cried. Cassie? Jake asked. What do we do? I don't know. Cassie, you're the closest thing we have to an animal expert, Jake said urgently. But I wasn't feeling at all like an expert. I was feeling like a fool. This was all my fault. It had been my decision to go ahead. I was the one. Ah, Marco moaned. Oh man, that is a major ouchie. Ah! What's happening? Tobias called down. Marco sounds hurt. He is, Jake answered tersely. Oh man, I don't want to die as some fish, Marco cried. I don't want to die out here. My mom drowned. I'm going to die just like she did. My dad. Morph, I yelled. I think I know what to do. Morph back to human. If he morphs to human, he'll just drown, Rachel argued. No, morphing uses DNA, right? The basic pattern of the animal. Marco morphs back to human. I don't think the injury will affect him because it doesn't affect his human DNA. Then, as soon as he can morph back into a dolphin. The dolphin body was injured, but the dolphin DNA should be the same. He should be a healthy, normal dolphin again. What if you're wrong? Rachel asked bluntly. There's no other choice, Jake said. Marco, you have to morph back to human. We'll keep you from drowning. Jake, buddy, you know I can't swim. I know, Marco, but we'll take care of you. Okay. Yeah, okay. I might as well die in my own body. Ah! Maybe it won't hurt as much. Maybe. He was drifting off. He's losing blood, I said. He may pass out. Marco, morph. Now! We formed a circle around him, the three of us, with Tobias drifting overhead and the big humpback resting alongside. Then Marco began to change. Arms sprouted from his flippers. His face flattened down, with his wide, grinning dolphin mouth shortening to form Marco's own lips. His skin turned pink, and his morphing suit appeared. His shattered, injured tail split into two. Legs formed from the halves. Toes appeared, human toes, at the end of human legs. He did it! Yeah, I did it, and now I'm drowning. Here, I said, swimming beside him. Grab onto me. He wrapped his arms over my back, and I held him up into the air. Then I noticed something strange. It was like the ocean floor was rising to meet me. No, it was the humpback. He had died beneath us and was rising slowly to the surface. Look out, the whale! Rachel yelled. But at that moment, the most incredible part of an incredible day happened. My mind, human, dolphin, both minds, opened up like a flower opening to the sun. And a silent but somehow huge voice filled my head. It spoke no words. It simply filled every corner of my mind with the simple emotion. Gratitude. The whale was telling me it was grateful. We had saved it. Now it would save our schoolmate. Back away, I told Rachel and Jake. It's okay. Yeah, Rachel agreed, sounding amazed. I hear it too, or feel it, or whatever. The humpback rose beneath a sputtering Marco. The broad, leathery back lifted him up. And when I looked again, I saw Marco sitting nervously on what could have been a small island, high and dry above the choppy waves. Marco fluttered down and Tobias fluttered down and rested beside him. The whale called me to him. Listen, little one, he commanded in a silent voice that seemed to fill the universe. I listened. I listened to his wordless voice in my head. I felt like it went on forever. Tobias said later it was only 10 minutes, but during that 10 minutes I was lost to the world. I was being shown a small part of the whale's thoughts. He had lived 80 migrations. He had many mates, many mothers, who had died in their turn. His children traveled the oceans of the world. He had survived many battles, traveled to the far southern ice and the far northern ice. He remembered the days when men hunted his kind from ships that belched smoke. He remembered the songs of the many fathers who had gone before, as others would remember his song. But in all, he had seen and all he had known, he had never seen one of the little ones become a human. Marco, I realized. He means Marco. And little ones? Is that what the whales call dolphins? We are not truly little ones. No, you are something new in this sea, but not the only new thing. I wasn't sure what he was telling me. He spoke only in feelings, in a sort of poetry of emotion without words. Part of it was in song. Part of it I can only sense the same way I could sense echolocation. Something new? He showed me a picture, a memory. It was a broad, grassy plain with trees and a small stream, all of it underwater. And across the grass ran an animal that was part deer, part scorpion, part almost human. Where is it? I asked him in the language of squeaks and clicks and mind-to-mind feeling. And he told me. Suddenly I woke up. That's how it felt anyway. The whale released me. It was like coming out of a dream. Are you okay? Jake asked. You were starting to worry us, but we had this feeling maybe the whale didn't want us to interfere. I'm fine, I said. I'm beyond fine. Marco's ready to try remorphing, Jake reported. Uh-huh, I said, still lost in the images from the mind larger and older and so utterly strange. Guys, you have about 25 minutes, Tobias reported, and it's a long way back to shore. I heard Marco say something, but he was speaking normally now, not in thought speak, so it was hard to make it out with my ears under the water. I stuck my head up and saw him begin to resume his dolphin shape. Halfway through, he slipped off the side of the whale and back into the water. His fins formed, his beak, and his tail. Perfect and healthy and undamaged. We headed for shore, tired but alive. I felt strange leaving the whale, but when we were a mile away, I heard his song, slow, mournful, haunting notes. Why didn't he sing more when we were with him? Jake wondered. I smiled inwardly, and of course, since I was a dolphin at the moment, I smiled outwardly too. He doesn't sing for the little ones, I explained. He sings for the mothers. What? Marco asked. He sings for a mate. Ah, cruising for chicks. Got it. I wonder if the big old guy even realizes that he helped save my life. Marco, that big old guy realizes things you and I will never be able to guess.